Yo, it's September 11th, 2011. It's the 10th year anniversary of the attacks on the World Trade Center in New York City, and the Pentagon in Washington, D.C., and also those who lost their lives in Flight 93. Interesting about this day, because this day is a very auspicious occasion. I still remember even 10 years ago, which doesn't even seem that long, it seemed like it was just yesterday. Still remember what I was doing that day. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was in 10th grade, second period. Mrs. Acola's algebra and trigonometry class. And then I've never been a fan of math, ever. It never was my strong point. I chose words. But anyway, so we were sitting in class. I'm thinking it's just going to be another boring day. And as soon as she tells us to pull out our books, because we had to go over some homework, which I probably didn't do, all of a sudden our principal, Mr. Matthew, came over the loudspeaker. And he said, now mind you, I went to high school in New Jersey, Winslow Township High School. He said, please turn on your television sets if you're in a classroom that has them, and teachers who don't, please move your students to a classroom with television sets. There's been a kamikaze attack on the World Trade Center. Now, at that time, I had no idea, I knew a little something about something, and I was smart enough to know what a kamikaze attack is. When somebody really sacrificed their own life to take out the lives of other people too, life or lives of other people. Crazy way to go. We turn on TV, all of a sudden we see smoke. All we see is just the smoke just rising from the building. The first tower was hit. And my first thought was, I thought back what I knew, a little something about history or whatever, at least American history. And one time back in like the 50s or so, the Empire State Building got hit by a plane, but that was something that was just like an error with the flight system, what have you, just a complete accident. Still a tragedy, don't get me wrong. And I'm sitting there hoping, praying this is just a repeat of what happened. And next thing we know, we see a plane fly in and hit the second tower. Something straight out of a Michael Bay movie. You never think you're gonna see something like that in real life. You pay admission to see stuff like that, but this was really happening. Shock. Shock is the word I would use. Shock, disbelief. Now both buildings smoking, people running, panic, screaming, crying. People trapped on the building, trying to find a way down, but they couldn't because they were above where the blast took place or where the impact took place. So they couldn't get down on the elevator, the stairwell. So they faced a choice to be burned alive or jump. And we saw people, 80-some stories in there, jumping and falling to their death, like just in real life. So all day, high school just stopped. Everything, we didn't learn another lesson, and pick up a pen, open a textbook, nothing. All we did was watch that coverage all day long. Even though we changed periods, we changed classes, everywhere I went, there was a TV that was on, and we watched. Parents were coming in early, they got all the work, they were coming to pick the kids up, because nobody knew what was happening. We didn't know what was next. We didn't know if it was an all-out attack on America, or when football practice canceled, all after-school activities canceled, buses came early to pick us up so we go home. Then we see the first tower fall. Let me tell you something. If you've never been to New York and seen how massive the buildings are, you got to see this for yourself. And you think about how the Twin Towers were towering over all of those other massive buildings. I saw those things. I saw the Twin Towers back when I was in the 8th or 9th grade. Those buildings are massive. They outdid the Empire State Building. They were bigger than the Empire State Building. And then to see these buildings a couple years later now falling, I can't even. It fell and toppled over. When we saw that first one fall and the dust that was rising, and then the first tower was still standing, people running for their lives, running from the smoke cloud. Something straight out of like a superhero movie. Like you thought Superman about to show up or something, but it didn't happen like that because it wasn't a movie. Even though as much as it looked like one, it wasn't. This is real. We finally go home. I turn the TV on, just every channel you could think of was focused on that. Everything just stopped. Everything stopped. Cameras, news people crying, trying to get interviewed, reporters crying, seeing the devastation. And during the midst of an interview, the second building falls down. And this clouds. I'll never forget that. And then you see like firefighters and police officers and people running into those buildings. Like those are real heroes. Y'all might think of football players rap stars stuff as heroes. Like, nah, man, these dudes ran into burning buildings trying to save lives, with a building falling down around them, still trying to help people. That was just the ultimate heroic event I've ever seen. Those are superheroes to me. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Shoot, you say what you want to say. That was amazing for people to be that selfless to try to help other people. When you thank them for what they did, they'll tell you something like, I was just doing my job, or, it was the right thing to do, which is correct, but at the same time, man, that takes an extreme amount of valor to be able to do that. I mean, you got to be thankful when you got people around you like that. In the midst of all that confusion, all that chaos, they still want to lend a helping hand and do something to help people around them. That day definitely put a lot in perspective. I'm not even going to front. Like, it really made you just, first off, understand that everything that you think you're sure of, as far as the consistency of your day and what you're used to, is not guaranteed. At any second, anything can be taken away from you. So you really just need to appreciate every waking moment. You need to appreciate anything you have, whether it be good health, whether it be even the material possessions that you have. Appreciate everything. The people in your life. Appreciate your relationship with God. Appreciate your relationship with Jesus Christ. You got to appreciate everything. Just remember to be thankful, because they can all be taken in a blink of an eye. People say never forget. I know I won't. I won't forget that.